Namaste. Welcome to my first ever yoga class, or at least introductory session, because this is a session on yoga skills you can use for your very first yoga practice. So what I'm doing here is a usual pose that I do in yoga called child's pose. And the idea here is that you're almost sitting on the backs of your legs and your arms are outstretched in front of you. Stretch out your arms to where it's comfortable. You want to be somewhere that is both comfortable but also that you can feel the stretches. I will attempt another take where my pants aren't on show, but it's okay. You don't need to worry about how you look when you're doing yoga. Just focus. So I tend to do a child's pose for around 30 seconds or so. Just focusing on my breathing, just in and out through my nose, counting my breaths. Then I'm entering a cobra pose. I go onto my arms now. I'd almost make the opposite motion with my back. And I do this for 10 seconds or so before returning to child's pose. So I'll do this motion, child's pose, for 30 seconds, to cobra for 10 seconds, about 5 times. And this was a method recommended to me through physiotherapy because, how should I put this? My back is in pieces just from a general sense of inactivity. I had to find out about yoga as an adult, you know. It's not something that you're taught in school, but it's something that is nice to start off. It's quite gentle. You can take it at your own pace. I'm glad I included this take because pants aren't showing in this one. It's not the end of the world, but you get the idea that this is a very customizable form of exercise. And so I've moved in to cobra now. Do that for about 10 seconds before returning to child's pose. Let's look at another pose. So this is what's known as a butterfly pose, where you put your feet together, legs wide apart, and you're sort of flicking through your toes like they're a book before stretching your arms out. I think this is a pose. I definitely know the butterfly bit is, but do you stretch out? I mean, you can do this on your back apparently. Is this a pose? Oops. Is this a... Oh, I'm not sure anymore. I'm sure I saw this on a video I watched. I don't think I'm wearing the right trousers for this either. Just ending up just asking for them to be ripped open eventually. This is a pose called the shoelace pose, in which you take one of your legs with some effort and rest it on top of the other. So once the shoelace pose is established, I then reach up my arms and touching the ground. Pretty sure the ground was still wet at this point. This is what you get for trying to film yoga outside in the middle of March. Just keep your arms stretched out. Only go as far as is comfortable. If you find yourself in any sort of pain, just ease up a little bit and don't work as hard. I'm pretty sure there's mushroom farming going on the same day. It was like, I don't know if you ever lived near anyone that does mushroom farming, but like you occasionally just get a waft of a garbage smell in the air. But whatever's going through your mind, just as much as you can, either let the thoughts just come and go, not really paying any attention to them, or just focus on your breathing in and out through the nose. So you can hold this pose for a minute or as long as it's comfortable before unlocking your legs and swapping over to the other one. So previously I had my right foot on top of my left, and now I've got my left on top of my right, which is clearly more difficult for me, as you're about to see. By no means you have to be in perfect form to start yoga. Just see where you're comfortable with. And just allow yourself the joy of contorting your body into different positions and just waking up certain groups of your muscles that may not be so awake in your day-to-day life. I'm glad to look as uncomfortable as I felt while filming that particular bit. Now, whenever you stretch your legs, make sure you give your legs a big hug, and if you want to, you can kiss both of your kneecaps. So this last segment is done lying down, and this is essentially twisting your spine. Just kind of wakes up a bit more and helps with any sort of back problems if you're feeling everything's a bit stiff. So you can see I'm using my legs to go in one direction and using the top of my torso and my arms to go in the other. So once you've done one way, make sure that you go the other. Only go as far as is comfortable, which is the lesson I didn't learn here. And now, after straightening yourself up on a yoga mat, you can lie back and give yourself thanks for giving yourself a lovely yoga session. Namaste.